Today, we'll look at how ancient Egyptians lived their daily lives. Men and women had legal equality that would not be seen in other civilizations for generations. And education and medicine were wonderfully advanced. But before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe to Tony's Perception. Let's now travel to ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, the Nile River served as the main transportation route, as well as the main source of water for agriculture, irrigation, and garment manufacturing. Simple wooden boats and skiffs were used by both the poor and upper classes to move along it from place to place. The Egyptians had to continually be on guard against hippo and crocodile attacks. It has been speculated that a hippo may have injured King Tut in a similar attack that caused him to pass away too soon. Just as a hippo murdered the Pharaoh, many while the two were traveling on the Nile. The first evidence of brewing beer dates back to ancient Egypt. 18,000 years ago, both adults and children drink beer because it was regarded as a basic food and because earnings were paid in ruble grain. Yet beer in ancient Egypt wasn't the same as the kind you get by the glass at your neighborhood bar. It had a reduced alcohol concentration, so you can have 1 or 2 bowls for dinner without getting into a drunken brawl with a hippo. It was more akin to a thick, sweet soup. Contrary to popular belief, the ancient Egyptians were skilled in a variety of cutting-edge medical specialties, including dentistry, gynecology, surgery, and even autopsy. Medical treatments weren't only for the wealthy. They were a combination of medical therapy and religious ceremonial. Everyone, including slaves, presumably had access to health care. Ancient Egyptians also placed a high value on hygiene because they understood the hazards that came along with cleanliness. They routinely showered using soap composed of salt and vegetable and animal oils. And it was normal for both sexes to totally shave off all of their body hair, even the hair on their heads. Although the ancient Egyptians had unquestionable anatomical expertise, they still didn't fully understand human anatomy. They held that all thinking began from the heart, or if where they considered the mind to be. Almost every culture held the conviction that the heart was the source of strong emotions like love, despair, and bravery. The brain was evidently not given much consideration by the ancient Egyptians, and after mummification it was simply tossed away. Gynecology, as we have established, was a branch of medicine practiced in ancient Egypt. Yet the ancient Egyptians hadn't completely ironed out all the wrinkles yet. Much like the heart versus brain controversy, they were aware it indicated that she was able to procreate. Kids were out of the picture if they couldn't smell the garlic, since that indicated a clog or obstruction of some type. Ancient Egyptians enjoyed playing board games, and Senet was unquestionably the most popular of them all. Each player would roll dice or toss sticks to move the pieces on an extended chess-like board while they played Senet. The Senet was so well liked that images of Nefertari playing the game have been found on the walls of old temples. Male infants are circumcised at birth in modern civilizations, yet because it was regarded in ancient Egypt as more of a rite of passage into manhood, it wasn't carried out until much later. The cultural importance of circumcision in ancient Egypt is unclear to history. For example,